Hey everyone, I'm Lorraine Driscoll, founder of Building Better Brains. Today I want to talk about basically giving you some insight and tips on how to specifically address dyslexia, reading difficulties, learning difficulties, and to be quite honest, even ADHD with a brain-body approach. So brain-body approach means we're understanding that the brain is part of the body and the brain is developed by certain movements and so forth in early infancy. It needs a few things like fuel, it needs water, it needs oxygen, and it needs stimulation in order to develop. So, number one thing you can do to improve reading is early intervention. So, like getting on top of things early and noticing if your child is struggling with things like phonemic awareness and so forth, or even beforehand, before they start reading things like having difficulty tying their shoes, poor balance, speech difficulties, difficulty coordinating their movements, all of that type of stuff are possible indications that your child could have dyslexia. And the sooner you get on top of it, the better the results and the less impact it's going to have on their self-esteem. Second thing is in terms of actual practical, things you can do if your child definitely is dealing with some kind of learning or reading, even behavior issue is eat real food. So it sounds really straightforward. The first place I tell my clients to start is reducing sugar, eating real food, obviously, but reducing sugar as well. And then one thing that really helps is targeted supplementation. Some of these kids do have certain genetic mutations that affect how they metabolize certain key brain nutrients and so forth. That stuff we dig into in my program, and I'll be talking more about that at on my free training on Friday. If you haven't done that, I'll post the link for that in the comments below after. So targeted supplementation, you don't want to just go crazy. You want to be selective about supplements. There's definitely an issue with over supplementing. So you want to make sure that you're using the right ones, that they're bioavailable, that they're good brands, all that type of stuff. Third thing you want to do, these kids are super bright. They typically have an overdeveloped right brain and a weak or underdeveloped left brain. So you need to stimulate that weaker left brain where the language center is. And so, but you want to also keep in mind while you're doing those other things, which again, I'll be talking about in my training, you want to focus on their area of genius, because these kids, when they struggle for long enough, it's obviously going to impact their self-esteem. And you want to, give them that boost, help them to understand that they have areas of weaknesses and areas of strengths like everyone else. Unfortunately, their area of weakness is affecting a whole lot more because reading is survival in our society or culture. Next thing you want to do, you want to look at detoxification. So you don't want to do a do-it-yourself approach with detoxification, but there is a few things you can do, like reducing the amount of cleaning products that are chemical-based in your home, bathroom products, just everyday products that your child might be exposed to, everything from sunscreen. That's another one that I see a lot, especially this time of the year. So detoxify and heal things like the cilia. If your child had multiple ear infections or even one and they have damage to the cilia, things like that are really, really important in order to get your child in a better place with phonemic awareness and auditory processing. The other thing you want to focus on healing, so that's number 5, is the gut. So the brain-gut connection is obviously huge. It plays huge role. And so you want to work on healing the gut by doing things like eating lots of ferments. And I say lots, but you want to start off slow at first. Possibly some probiotics. And again, sometimes you have to be choosy. You want to make sure with certain kids that it doesn't have certain strains. And also, things like bone broth and so forth. So I'll be talking more about that and the impact in my training. And lastly, you want to eliminate trigger foods, like processed food, obviously, but then looking deeper into foods that your child may be sensitive or compounds that are in foods that are good for us, like say phenols or oxalates, salicylates. This is goes down to why certain kids can't have red food dye and so forth. So you want to look at these triggers and food sensitivities. And ultimately, you want to work towards healing your child's gut and immune system if they do have, food sensitivities, especially if there's a lot, because you don't want to do a food sensitivity test and then have to permanently remove 35 foods out of your child's diet. That's like total insanity. So I will be talking more about this in detail this Friday, the 27th at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'll put the link in the comments below for you to sign up. Save your seat. It's almost full. I didn't want it to be too big. I like to keep these intimate so that we can actually chat and be conversational and so forth. And I'm going to give you some very actionable steps. If you do register, you will get a replay if you can't, a link to the replay via email if you can't attend the live training. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great day.